Hello, everybody. This is BSport02 here. Before we begin today's episode of Motorsports 360, I just want to say my sympathies and my condolences, along with everyone else here in this call, to the friends and family of Brian Clauson. Excuse me, Brian Clauson, not just known for his talent, but also his spirit, but also for his spirits. Really nice guy. At 27 years old, Brian Clauson was taken away too soon. To everyone in chat and to everyone in the call, please rise and join us in a moment of silence as we honor Brian Clauson. Thank you. Motorsports 360 is back in your life. Once again, hello everybody. This is BSport02 here. Hope you're having a great day today. It is our third episode for the second week of August 2016.
0 to 100 on the tone scale.
Anyway, today it's been a wild day for me actually. This morning I woke up at about 7:30, didn't get enough sleep last night, and then I went to Buffalo Bills training camp, and then went to Tilt to Kill for lunch, and now here we are doing Motorsports 360. We got a good show for you today. Expect the show to not be like a 60-minute show unless we had a lot of fan discussion time questions, but I'd probably say expect it to be like between 30 to 45 minutes if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's meet the panelists for tonight's show. It is our fantastic four, like usual. We are going to go from left to right. We've got Tristen Allen.
Hello.
Nathan Waskiewicz.
Hello.
And last but not least, Mike Wazowski.
Hello.
Alrighty, let's get things started here. Once again, I already broke this on our special report yesterday, but I will begin with the breaking news we had from Sunday. I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's Sunday, Monday. But anyway, Brian Clauson has died from fatal injuries sustained in a sprint car crash at one of the national races in Kansas City. His car flipped in turn 4, and then his car was struck by another racer. He was 27 years old. We're not going to show the video because it is a fatal crash now. It's just tough, man, to deal with it.
Yeah, and once fatal crashes, like people show them, like there's like those people who like to go and be like, haha, and I don't like people who do that.
Anyway, let's get things started here. First off, we're gonna review the Cup Series race at Watkins Glen to choose a 355, and it was a pretty wild one, like you'd expect at Watkins Glen. Beautiful day for racing. We had some controversy actually going into this race. Not even before the green flag. We saw all of the 5 Toyotas, with the exception of BK Racing, have windshield wipers on their car. Now, I didn't know on the radar if it was going to rain or not, but it didn't look like it. But when I looked at the forecast, it wasn't. So I'm like, I first thought that the windshield wipers would have disadvantage because it would
aerodynamic advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, once we had the green flag, Carl Edwards got into it, got the race lead easily, but then we had a bunch of green flag pit stops and a bunch of penalties. Yeah, I don't know how many penalties we had there, but NASCAR was really strict on those drivers.
There were 8 on the first pit stop.
Yeah.
And what did Danica Patrick do? She stayed out and led her first laps of the 2016 season.
She led more laps this race than she did in any other race combined. Well, not combined, but this is the one which she led the most laps in.
And then we had the restart in the race. Danica Patrick got whacked out of line, and she was not happy, as we will explain later on in the show. And then we had our big pileup in the second half of the race on lap number 53. Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse, Greg Biffle, Austin Dillon, they bear the red flag. And a fun fact for all you Jimmy Johnson haters / fans, sorry, Mike.
Woo! Hater!
Anyway, this was Jimmy Johnson's first ever last place finish in NASCAR history now, even though...
Series.
Yeah, in the Sprint Cup Series, excuse me. But now, even though this isn't like pretty cool for Jimmy Johnson, I still think that should deserve a round of applause.
Yay, Johnson wrecked!
I
Oh,
refuse.
not Johnson wrecked, not Johnson wrecked. And then we continue on here. Let's move on here from the red flag being removed here and the yellow flag being displayed. I'm looking at lap by lap right now on NASCAR.com. And then we had another crash with I forgot who it was. Was it like David Reagan and other people?
And
Reagan,
Edwards.
David Reagan,
Harvick.
Edwards, boy.
No, that was the
Oh,
big one.
Yeah,
That was
Edwards
the
and
second
Reagan.
big one. And then it was Harvick and nope, it wasn't Harvick and Reagan. And then Keselowski and Kyle Busch, your top two, they messed everything up going into turn number 1, and it was just crazy.
Yeah,
That
Kyle-
gave Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Kyle
ahead.
Busch went off into 1, and he got in front of Keselowski, but he ended up overdriving the corner. But since he got in front of Keselowski, I made Keselowski overdrive the corner, so they both went off track, and then here comes Hamlin just do off to the win.
Yep. If I'm correct, I believe that Kyle Busch actually wheel hopped going into turn 1. Keselowski must have just hit the curb.
Keselowski was
Keselowski
also
hit the
pushing
curb.
it.
Kyle Busch wheel hopped.
And then Matt DiBenedetto and Ryan Newman spin. And I should mention Matt DiBenedetto had a pretty nice save from like 360, but kept it off the wall.
Yeah, I
Synchronized.
thought he was
Yeah.
gonna go straight in the wall, but he didn't. That was a nice save.
And then we had the restart again, and we had another caution for Kevin Harvick, David Reagan, and Chris Buescher, who was supposed to make the top 30 in points if he wants to get into the chase, like we mentioned last week. And
He still made ground, though.
And that, yeah, just 1 point he made.
No, he went from 6 to 3.
Oh,
4.
really? It was from 6 to 3?
Yeah.
Oh, 6 to 4.
6 to 4.
Oh, okay.
I
And
said
then
sorry.
we had the final lap, 3-car battle for the win. Hamlin, Truex, and Keselowski. Everyone wanted Truex to try and move Hamlin out of the way, but guess what? Brad Keselowski decides he is going to move Truex out of the way, and nobody's happy except for Mr. Allen himself.
Yeah.
And Brad still ended up finishing
Any-
third. So I don't know.
Any way to take out those
Yeah.
Toyotas, I don't care. As long as the Toyota is wrecked after the race, I am happy.
All right, that's biased. Don't be biased on this show. Just
I
saying.
am biased.
Oh.
Yeah, but when Jimmy finished 40th, yeah.
I like how you say
Oh, yeah,
I can't.
that's
I like how you say I can't
True,
be
good
biased,
point.
but their pictures are of their favorite drivers,
True,
Don't
good
talk
point.
about it.
Good point.
and they say it unfair.
Haters gonna hate.
All right, let's move on. And then
I
We
will change
saw-
everything to Chris Buescher.
Yeah, why don't we just all make our profile pictures Chris Buescher?
Yeah, just me.
You know?
Just watch out episode 4, the Chris Buescher episode.
Yep, and then finally, and we all thought there was going to be a fight breaking out, but Keselowski apologized to Truex, and we will talk about that later on in the show. But
the bigger.
normal finish, we had 8 cautions, 9 lead changes in this race. Let us go with the top 10 here.
I think the biggest part of that final lap was AJ Allmendinger wrecking a bubble driver.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit,
Mhm.
actually.
That
Joey
made
Logano. Yeah, Joey Logano finished 2nd, Keselowski 3rd, Allmendinger 4th, Tony Stewart 5th. Good job for him again. Kyle Busch 6th, Martin Truex Jr. finishes 7th, Jamie McMurray 8th, Trevor Bayne 9th. How about that? That's his best Watkins Glen finish, I believe.
Bane's getting
That
better.
gets
Mhm.
Bane's got a
Some notable results here. Casey Mears 12th, Chase Elliott 13th, Jeff Gordon 14th, Michael McDowell 17th, Ryan Blaney 19th, Landon Castle 23rd, Boris Sud 24th, Brian Scott 25th,
Josh Wise.
Chris Buescher 30th, yep, Josh Wise 26th, and Jimmy Johnson 40th.
Yeah.
Josh, I swear that 30 team, they're going to get like a top 15 by some huge wreck by the end of the year with how they've been doing.
Talladega.
Talladega.
Owe me a Coke! Owe me a Coke!
Hey, quick fun fact.
I had chocolate
Three.
already, thanks. Oh,
Quick
crap,
fun
hang on.
fact. 3 drivers finished in the top 5 at both road course races.
Yep.
Joey Logano, Tony Stewart, and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Stewart, he won and then finished 5th, and Hamlin finished 2nd and 1st, and then Logano, where did he finish in both road
He
course
finished
races?
2nd in Watkins Glen, and I think he finished 3rd in Sonoma.
Yeah, so 3
Mhm.
drivers getting top 5s.
My pick from last week finished 5th, so I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, let's move on from the Cup Series. Let's go on to the Xfinity Series, the Zippo 200 at Watkins Glen. Not going to recap this because basically it was a Cup Series regular race.
But
Uh,
a Cup Series regular did end up wrecking.
yeah,
Yeah, Kyle.
Joey
Busch,
Logano. Yeah, Joey Logano got the race win. Then it was Paul Menard, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, Trevor Bayne. So that was a good choice to go into the Xfinity Series race to get that
Yeah.
good position.
Mm-hmm.
Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, Brennan Gaughan, Ryan Reed, and Brennan Poole. We had 6 cautions for 18 laps. Well, 8 lead changes among 5 leaders. Race was red flagged for 22 minutes on lap 19 when the big one struck involving Todd Bodine and most notably Kyle Busch. So
I think the only Cup regular to be involved in a wreck that race.
let me take a look. I'm gonna load up the official race results right now.
But then, like,
Yes, it was. Yep, Kyle Busch was the only Xfinity Series regular involved in the crash.
Cup
And
Series
then
regular.
we should also note about the
Here,
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti. In case you guys watched NASCAR Nixon, Dale Cope's car exploded.
But it was a thing which I said like a excess like tire brake dust going up into like the tire well and no place for it
Yeah.
to escape.
I'll explain that in the headlines in just a little bit. Anyway, that's it for the Xfinity Series at Watkins Glen recap. Let's recap most, I should say, of NHRA eliminations at Pacific Raceways in Seattle. Had a 90-minute postponement because of rain, and in the first round there was a scary accident with Courtney Force as she hit the wall in funny car round 1, and it was pretty, it was scary, man. And then as a result, she did climb out the car unharmed, but we will give you more details on her condition in a little bit. After the semifinals, we had more rain. So what happened? The race, the finals in those eliminations are going to be postponed to Brainerd and Indianapolis. If I look up the news story right now, okay. So the drivers that are in the finals for Brainerd is going to be for Top Fuel, Antron Brown and Steve Torrance, and for Funny Car, Del Worsham and Ron Capps. Pro Stock Finals not in Brainerd because one of the finalists, Aaron Strong, will not be in Brainerd, so they will be in Indianapolis on Labor Day. It'll be that match. Aaron Strong will go against Vincent Nobile in that one. And that's it for the race recap. Let's go on to the headlines. Like we said on the break news earlier, Brian Clauson dead at the age of 27 after the scary fatal car crash. Let's tell you more about him. USAC Durkar driver. He was the best USAC Durkar driver so far as of before he died, in my opinion.
He was going for 200 races this year.
Yeah, 200 races. I believe this was his 130th, I believe.
It's like in the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Taken 2 early.
Yeah. In his NASCAR Nationwide Series career, he had 2 top 10s. Best finish was at Nashville in 5th position, and he did score a pole and the Daytona July race in 2008, and he did win the ARCA race at Gateway in 2007. Continuing on with the headlines here, you probably have heard about it already. I'm extremely excited about this one. Eric Jones is going to move up to the Sprint Cup Series in 2017. He will drive the number 77 5-Arrow Energy Toyota for Furniture Row Racing. The sponsor is expected to be for 22 races. And then the rest is probably going to be Furniture Row then.
Or as Jake Rogers hopes, Freightliner.
Team owner Bernie Visser said that Eric Jones' contract is for 1 year, and they're trying their best to get a charter for 2017. Dale Jr. over the weekend spoke with the media at Watkins Glen. It was his first appearance in a NASCAR race since Kentucky. Sorry, I had to think about that for a moment there. Anyway, his plans, he is not considering retirement. He intends to return from this concussion. He's still having that problem with the, what do we call it, gauge stability? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
We're having, trouble focusing on, things, like this, for example, here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see here. I don't know what to say about this one. Alright, his intentions are to get medically cleared and back to racing. he wants to race a late model the day he comes back, then return to cup racing. Like we've said earlier, he's doing 2 to 3 hours of mental, physical activities a day. Let's talk about Courtney Force, the NHRA funny car driver, not seriously injured following round one of the eliminations on Sunday at Pacific Raceways. She climbed out under her own power, but was taken to a local hospital for further evaluation on head, neck, elbow, and shoulder injuries. However, though, those X-ray scans, CT scans, they came back negative. However, though, she does have a contusion on the tendon of her left knee from contact with the steering wheel. She will see a sports orthopedic doctor in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, where the family has a summer home. Now, we should also mention this. Courtney's father, John Force, was actually going for the Western Swing, which is going for 3 West Coast races in a row, which is Denver, Sonoma, and Seattle. However, got eliminated early on. Marin Truex Jr. has signed a 2-year contract extension with Furniture Row Racing, effective in the which will take place in effect in the beginning of the 2017 season. And Bass Pro Shops is going to up their number of sponsorships in 2017 from 12 to 16, starting with the Daytona 500. So, pretty cool to see that. And finally, let's talk about Derek Kolb. His car was impounded by NASCAR after the explosion. According to his crew chief, the caliper broke in the right front tire, and when the car stopped, heat and pressure caused the right front tire to explode. Now that we've talked about that, let's go on to our favorite segment on this show. We get the fans along on this show. Discussion time. So anyway, let's get started on here talking about the dirt car racing. Now, I've looked at a bunch of Google images on Brian Clauson's sprint car. They are open wheel. Like, there are no fenders. They're kind of like back when Indy cars did not have the DW12 chassis. So here's what I want for you guys. Is it time for fenders on these sprint cars? We're going to start off with Mike.
Fenders on the sprint cars. Yeah, I mean, something like that needs to be done because we've seen way too many deaths in the past few years in sprint car racing. And maybe the fenders would help keep the cars from flipping over when they hit the wall, because it seems like every time a sprint car hits the wall, they flip over. So, yeah, something definitely needs to be done about that, and I think fenders is the best option.
Alrighty, Nathan.
Yeah, definitely, like, fenders and maybe more safety protocols of any sort, like at the tracks and in the cars. There's just too many incidents where people get hurt or people get killed in the sprint cars, and it's not good.
All right, Tristen.
Yeah, I think they should have fenders on them. Like, look at like the other sports, like F1 and IndyCar. They're also trying to get their safety game upped with windshields going up in front of them. So I think sprint cars should do what they did. Like, they already have the windshield, but they need something else for them. Like, although all motor racing's dangerous, like they should try to make it as least dangerous as they can.
All right, to anyone in chat that is watching right now, I have posted a straw poll, so we're doing a Connect Live poll right now. Is it time for fenders in sprint car racing? We'll get your results at the end of discussion time. Next question here. Marin Truex Jr. not happy at Brad Keselowski despite the fact that Keselowski apologized. Is this a chase rival we're seeing? Is this the Jeff Gordon to the Brad Keselowski? Is this the Matt Kenseth to the Joey Logano? And will payback happen? Nathan, we'll start off with you.
I don't think so, considering the fact that they both seem kind of alright with it after the race, and it didn't really mean too much in the long run because they both have wins, they're both in the chase already. So I don't think it'll carry over, but if something were to ever happen between them again, it'll definitely be in the back of their mind still. It's not going to just go away.
All right, Tristen.
I don't think there's going to be payback because if you look at them after the race when they were confronted each other, Brad apologized, but you could see they both had smiles on their faces once he said that. So it's not like they were trying to go like at each other. Like Truex wasn't trying to punch, Keselowski wasn't trying to punch. Like, so I don't think this is going to be made anymore. But like Nathan said, if something were to happen again, then payback would happen for the next time.
All right, Michael.
Well, we certainly hope it doesn't turn into like a Matt Kenseth or Joey Logano situation, but if it comes down to it where they're racing for that final spot to move on to the next round of the chase, I wouldn't expect to see them race very cleanly. I don't think they'll give each other an inch. They'll race hard.
Then what would NASCAR do if they were to wreck each other like that?
Oh, they probably, if whoever wrecked who, would probably give them a 2-race suspension, just like they did Kenseth.
All right. Let's move on to the other crash that happened on the final lap. Kyle Larson was mad after coming out of the infield care center from the crash with AJ Allmendinger. Is this a rivalry brewing? And will we see payback to this one? Tristen, we'll start off with you.
Yes, we will see payback because, as Larson said, he says he likes the people who work with JTD Daugherty, but he says he's sorry that they're gonna have to do more work because he's gonna wreck a lot of their cars here. So, if Larson holds up to his word on wrecking them, there's going to be a rivalry brewing with these two. And honestly, if I'm Larson, like he deserves to be mad because he got wrecked for fourth, and with him being on the chase bubble, he's in 16th. If Buescher gets that 3 points, he's out of the chase, and he was in front of his teammate, who's the driver who he needs to gain points on. But instead of gaining points, he lost a lot more points than what he would have gained.
All right, Michael.
Definitely a rivalry brewing. Kyle Larson had 20, 30-point cushion before he got wrecked. Now it's only 6 points. Allmendinger is only 36 points out of the chase now. If they get near each other, they're going to race hard. Larson isn't going to give him an inch. He's going to get into him. Larson was mad. I mean, I read an article on NASCAR Mobile about how mad he was when he came out of the infield care center. I'd put an extra camera on them if they're ever battling on the racetrack.
All right, finally Nathan.
There's definitely something there. I don't think Larson would do anything to him like this season. Just knowing the fact that he could easily get fined, he could get docked points, which he needs every single point he can get. They wouldn't suspend him for a race, I wouldn't think, if he did anything to AJ, but he could get docked points or something. I don't think he would risk that just to get payback on him.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely take it easy or be careful about how he does it if he does do it, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on from this. I don't know what people call this. I mean, I'd call it burnout gay, but Steve O'Donnell was on Sirius XM radio today, and he was talking about that NASCAR is considering penalties if you have like excessive celebrations, kind of like in the NFL. So the question for you guys: should NASCAR include penalties for excessive celebrations that can alter the race cars, like we saw with Denny Hamlin as he blew both rear tires and had steam flowing out of his race car? Michael, starting off with you.
That's a bunch of bull crap.
The only reason why Hamlin couldn't drive his car into victory lane was because both rear tires blew out. Steve O'Donnell needs to be worrying about different things besides celebrations. Celebrations is the last thing he should have on his list. He should be worrying about why people aren't coming to races, why people aren't watching them on TV, making the cars safer. I mean, I saw in the NASCAR Mobile article that a similar thing happened to Harvick. He was celebrating at Dover, and he hit the wall, and they thought they wouldn't be able to inspect his car cleanly, but he passed the inspection at the track and the inspection the next day with wherever their headquarters is that they took it to inspect it thoroughly. But, yeah, I mean, I really don't think this is a big issue. He doesn't need to worry about it.
All right, Nathan.
Yeah, I agree with what Michael said. It's not a big issue. They shouldn't really worry about it. They only really have to, like, their concern was that they be doing something where they couldn't inspect their cars, like Michael said. But they shouldn't really look into that if something major happens. Like, if they, I can't think of an example, but if it was, like, a really bad, like, Hamlin blew the tires out, that's not a big deal. That's not going to change anything. But they shouldn't be concerned about it to the point where they could fine you for celebrating too much or something.
We've seen cars look worse than Hamlin's after a celebration, and they didn't say a word, and now all of a sudden they want to bring it up? I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I should mention right now before we go to Tristen, there is a straw poll up right now for chat. Talking about this question, we'll get your, like we said, get your results at the end. And finally, Tristen, your thoughts?
I think they should go where they're going, because we've seen the
Ooh.
20 fail post-race inspection, and we don't know like what goes on with those with cars, and there's a lot of things in the rear end. Like, you blow a tire, you can easily change something to make you pass inspection, but it is exactly the opposite. Even if you don't do it and you get involved in a wreck or blow a tire on track, you still can't do it. So you so I want them to do it, but I don't want them to like just completely eliminate it. Like, I want them to make sure like they don't like blow the tires out.
Okay, let's move to our next topic, which is Wipergate. With the exception of BK Racing, we saw all the Toyotas with windshield wipers on their windshields going into the green flag, and that gave them an aerodynamic advantage when it comes to side force, making them to pass them to pass their cars easier. So here's the question: should NASCAR force drivers to only have windshield wipers only? Like I said, only when it is raining. Nathan, we'll start off with you.
Well, I really have no idea how that could have helped them in any way, but it seems like it did, because they were all up there. Like, Edwards had the penalty and he wrecked. He was kind of back there. Kyle Busch was up front. Hamlin, Truex. I don't know where Kenseth was, but it seemed to help them in some way. So I would say, yeah, they should only have the wipers on if it's raining.
Okay, Tristen.
I agree with Nathan. They should have it only when it's raining, because if it gives them any type of advantage, it should either be every car or no car. There shouldn't just be a specific few that get the advantage if something like that. I think it's a windshield wiper. I know cars have them, but windshield wipers in NASCAR are only for rain, not for the dry conditions.
Okay, and Michael.
Yep, I agree with Tristan and Nathan. Windshield wipers should be on the car only when it's raining. Like, I don't know, like with you, Nathan, I don't know what kind of advantage it gave them. I don't really think it did. Their cars have been fast all year. Yeah, I just, no, windshield wipers should only be on the car when it's raining.
All right. Real quick before we go to our next topic, I just want to let Tristan know this real quick. But Napa Fan has signups coming up Friday night, and you're allowed to sign up in the Kubota Sports Car Championship. Just got a notification.
Wait, I can sign up for it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next question on discussion time. And by the way, to the chat, I'm getting some things that say straw poll cannot be found. Here's what I'll do. I won't do any more straw polls. I'll just get you guys' opinions in the chat, see what most people are saying. To our next question. Eric Jones, moving up to the Cup Series. How will he do in his first Cup season? Tristan.
It honestly just depends if he can get that if he can get a charter. If he can't get a charter, then it will all depend on if it's raining or all those conditions that can happen at any racetrack, and for him to even get in the race. But once he's in the race, we've seen him with the 18. We saw him do amazing until he got aero loose at Kansas with the red nose car. So I think he'll do very good. I would not be surprised to see him win once, twice, maybe even 3 times in his first season. So since he's in the 77, even though it's going to be a new team, it's still Toyota, and unless if Toyota just gets a massive downfall and Chevy and Ford just catch up completely, which I don't see that happening in one off season, I see Jones doing very good for being another great Michigan driver here in 2017.
Alrighty, Michael.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of an up and down season for him. I don't think they're going to have any trouble getting the charter, but I think he's going to have fun qualifying and everything. He's going to be really fast up there with the Toyotas and practice and everything. But I think it's going to be a real up and down season for him. I mean, he's had mostly good races when he subbed for Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, but their equipment was a little bit different from what Furniture Row has. You know, they don't give them their best stuff, but they give them the same stuff. So I really think it's going to be an up-and-down season, mixed. You know, they're going to have top 5s, top 10s. Probably going to be a lot of wrecking, though.
All right, finally, Nathan.
Yeah, if they can get the charter, then they'd be chase contenders, I would think. Like Mike said, probably up and down, because he's still a rookie, and he probably has some good runs. He probably can contend for a win here and there. and definitely be in the chase come the end of the season.
Yeah,
All
I think,
right.
real quick, I think he needs a year before he's going to get his first win. Just wanted to add that.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see what people are saying right now in the chat. JC1424, Mike Perform, as well as Ryan Blaney. Cody Smart, Jones will make the chase by points. He'll obviously be worse than the 78, so Jones might not win a race before the chase. Interesting, guys. Next question here. Dale Jr. spoke to the media saying he is going to return, not going to retire. But what race will Dale Jr. come back? Michael, starting off with you.
Well, I said Bristol, and obviously that's not going to happen now, so I feel kind of stupid. But I think he'll come back Michigan. Michigan seems like the race that he'll be ready to go again. I said
Yeah,
before
well,
he would win
do you
that
mind if I
race.
say something real quick?
Huh?
Do you mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I should mention this because if Junior does come back at Michigan, that's his best chance to get into the chase again because he's got 2 wins there, and then at the other
But-
tracks, Darlington, Richmond. I mean, Richmond, he's got 1 win, so that might be his other good chance. But Darlington, he might not have a chance because he's got no wins there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Michigan, yeah, I agree with you. Michigan is definitely going to be his best chance to try and get a win. And really, when he comes back, if he does come back at that race, he's going to have nothing to lose. He's not going to make it on points. He's got nothing to lose. They're probably going to bring the best car that they have in the shop to that track, and he's got to find a way to get to the front and stay up there and win the race. That's his only chance.
Okay, Nathan.
I feel like he wants to come back before the chase and try to get the win and get in, but I don't feel like that's the best for him if he's really has a serious medical issue still. And I think he wants to focus on a long term, like getting 3 or 4 more years out of his career. Then I think it'd be best for him to wait as long as possible before he comes back this year.
All right, finally, Tristen.
Well, 2 things. One, I agree with Nathan how he's going to be waiting as long as he can, but to you, Marty and Mike, I don't think he will be racing at Michigan. Michigan is where he got his concussion in the first place. So I do not foresee the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd want to race there or if the doctors would even let him race there in the first place if he got the concussion at the track.
He's going to want to
That
come
is a
back,
good
I can
point.
guarantee that.
He wants to come back, but he said wants to focus on his health. So
Well, let me give you guys my take on it. My mom, dad, and I, when we went to Buffalo Bills training camp today, we met with a guy who is not just a Bills fan as well, but is also a NASCAR fan. We were talking about Dale Jr. He believes that Jr. will sit out the rest of the season, probably just take it easy, and then
I will
he
not be
will
surprised
definitely.
if I see that.
Yeah, me neither. And then we believe he'll be back for the Daytona 500 in February.
Well,
Yeah, that's probably
well,
best for Junior.
Well,
but
he won't be back for the 500. He'll be back for the blank shootout because it's not
Oh
going to
yeah,
be
that's
sprint. It won't be sprint
the
anymore.
oh yeah,
It's
Coca-Cola
going to be the
shootout.
blank shootout or the blank blank or the Budweiser shootout again. Hopefully it's Budweiser.
At least it won't be the Yum shootout.
Oh God! Please don't be the Yum.
Oh, God.
Please don't be the Yum shootout. The Kroger shootout at Daytona.
And I'll be
Anyway,
going
let's go to our
great.
all right. Let's go to our next question here. Jeff Gordon is semi-retired from 2015. Tony Stewart will be retiring in 2016. Who will be the next driver to retire? Michael, starting off with you. Wait, no, not Michael. Sorry, Nathan.
Well, I think Eric Jones signing the 1-year contract kind of confirmed that it's going to be Matt Kenseth next because he's getting up there in age. He's like 40, I think he's 45 now, and his contract with Gibbs expires after next season. So does Eric Jones's. So I assume that Kenseth's going to retire after next season, and Jones move into the 20, and then maybe Suarez move into the front row team. But I think it's going to be Matt Kenseth after next season.
Tristen.
I think it's like I also think it could be Kenseth, but I also think it's could be like Biffle because like I know he wants to keep going and he's getting better, but I think they're gonna take Biffle out because they have good young talent. They have Busher who's gonna eventually get back in a Roush car. They have Darrell Wallace Jr. They have Ryan Reed. They have Austin Hill who drove a development team for them earlier. They have Greg Alding. They have a lot of different team drivers who are up there in ability. So I think it's going to be Biffle next whenever his contract's up.
Alrighty, finally, Michael.
I think it's all going to come down to whoever's contract ends first. If it's Biffle, then Biffle will retire. If it's Kenseth, then he'll retire. But I don't know whose ends first, or maybe they both end in the same year and they'll both retire just like that. It just all comes down to whose contract ends first.
Alright, I got some people saying Greg Biffle the first to retire after Stewart. That's the only thing I'm getting right now. Thanks, Cody. Anyway, next question here. We know Eric Jones moving up to the Cup Series full time. So, William Byron, 5 wins this season, a record for a rookie in the Truck Series. Will he move up to the Xfinity Series in the 20 car? Starting off with Tristen.
Well, this is a very coincidental question because, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about the same question before the Eric Jones news came out, and I said no because Jones was still going to be in there. But now that it is confirmed there's a second team and Jones is moving up, I switched from when we talked with each other. It will be the 20 of William Byron next year since Jones did move up, and I think instead of Suarez moving up, I think it's going to be Byron if he wins 5 races in the Xfinity. It's going to be Byron moving up to the 77 instead of Suarez.
Okay, Michael.
Absolutely, William Byron to the 20 car in the Xfinity Series next year. I think he's going to do pretty well. He may even do better than Eric Jones. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But definitely, he'll be in the 20 car next season.
Okay, and for a joke, just watch it be Owen Kelly.
Alright, Nathan.
I think he'll be in the 20 car. I don't think they can leave him in the Truck Series another year. He gets 5 wins and even more. He could win the title. I can't see them leaving him down there for another year, so he'll be in the 20 next year.
Yeah, William Byron will leave, and then Matt Crafton will dominate the Truck Series again.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Somebody, JC1424 to the last discussion question.
You
I
think
think
Junior would be retiring? Whoa.
Yeah. It seems Bobby Labonte ain't gonna retire until after he dies.
Yeah.
Bobby
Nobody
Labonte
mentions
just
Bobby
keep
Labonte.
Alrighty. Okay, so let's go on to my next question. I just thought of this actually. So, do you guys think? I'm sharing my screen right now. I made this car for NR 2003. Will it be the Liberty University scheme? Come on, just say it. Come on, Michael. We'll start off with you.
Yes.
Good boy. Nathan.
Yes.
Good boy. Tristen.
Yes, because it's literally been the same. He's literally ran the same Liberty University scheme for his whole entire career in K&N and the Truck Series. If it changes, that's gonna be the biggest surprise.
I like it.
Alrighty.
I like it a lot.
Like either
Alrighty.
that or it's gonna end up being black, like how it ran at Eldora.
Alrighty. Okay, by the way, I should mention, if this is the real scheme, I will be uploading it to NN Racing. So I don't have to tell you what a fictional anymore. Anyway, to the next question. The Olympics are going on right now. I'm watching them right now on NBC. Yes, I do watch gymnastics. Anyway,
Watch NBC Olympics.
nothing but commercials. And the taped Olympics, so who cares? But anyway, what if auto racing was in the Olympics? Could it happen? Nathan, we'll start off with you.
I think racing is kind of like a worldwide thing. Like they have racing series in Australia, and obviously like F1 goes all over the world. So I can't see why they wouldn't have it in the Olympics, except for the fact that most of the best drivers are from the same few countries. So I couldn't see that many countries competing in it. But if like walking is an Olympic sport, and just there's so many weird ones, I can't see why auto racing is not there.
Okay, Tristen.
I don't know if it'll be. If it does end up being an Olympic sport, it will not be NASCAR related because NASCAR, it's only a North American sport, having the Canadian Tire Series, the Mexico Series, and normal NASCAR. It's only going to be American in the North American sport. If it is, it's going to be some type of IndyCar or Formula One sport because they go all around the world, even though IndyCar doesn't, but they still have all foreign drivers, a lot of foreign drivers in there. So if it is, it's going to be a Formula One type sport.
Alright, and finally Michael.
I think it should be. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch, and I would actually like the Olympics. I mean, I don't know. And to what you were saying about Tristan, about there only being like Formula One and IndyCar drivers, and NASCAR is just a North American sport, so we wouldn't really see them. Keep in mind, Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch did the double. They ran in the Indy 500. They
No,
could.
I'm not
They.
saying the drivers won't. I'm saying that the cars won't.
Oh well. Still though, they could.
Alright, I'll give you my take on this. When I first thought about this, I was kind of thinking this would be like an IROC series because we know we had like NASCAR, IndyCar, Grand Am, but then also take drivers from Formula One, Formula E, maybe V8 supercars, drivers like that, maybe even the Canadian Tire Series. Around the world, all the nations just come together, race on road course. Now, not just a full road course, like take Suzuka for example, because I mean the 2020 Olympics are going to be in Tokyo, Japan. If we get like Suzuka on the track,
Imagine like
we
every single
couldn't.
country having a car at the same time, all like 300 cars on track.
Here's the deal. Going back to what I was saying, we wouldn't just race like the full track like Formula One does in like the gold medal match. We could also race on the East Circuit, maybe even the West Circuit. That would be interesting. Do different track variations.
Not the west side. Not the west side. The west side of Suzuka is a bad place.
All right. Going to our next question. We saw Joseph Newgarden at Watkins Glen earlier because he's promoting the IndyCar race at Watkins Glen, which is on Labor Day. Spoiler alert, I am going to this race. So anyway, my question, he did make a hit on J-Ski. He could be headed to NASCAR. Could Joseph Newgarden head to that sport? And if so, could he run the double? Who did I start with last time? I forgot. Was it Nathan? Was? All right, Tristan was. All right, Tristan, starting off with you.
If it is, like, I see him doing it because he said it, but I also like the big thing which he said is that he said that some drivers who he would not name would be doing the double from the NASCAR. So that's also something that's big. Like Newgarden, I could see him running like road courses and possibly a few other ones because we've seen other drivers come into NASCAR and do good sometimes, like Juan Montoya. And then we did see Kimi Räikkönen from F1, which is also close to IndyCar. He ran at Charlotte, and with Gutierrez, I mean not Gutierrez, Gutierrez and Hamilton wanting to race NASCAR, I will not be surprised to see F1 or IndyCar drivers racing at Watkins Glen or Sonoma here in the next few years.
All right, Michael.
Yeah, I agree with Tristan. I think Joseph Newgarden will attempt the double. Will he do well? I don't really think so. I mean, we saw Dario Franchitti comes to mind. He didn't do that well in NASCAR. And probably if we see them in any other races, it'll probably be road courses. Maybe they'll run Mid-Ohio in the Xfinity Series or something like that.
All right, and Nathan.
Yeah, I can see some of them coming over to at least try the double, and I think it'd be cool if some IndyCar drivers came over to do it, and some NASCAR drivers also did it in the same year, or at least just one from each. And it'd be pretty interesting to see that. And yeah, like Michael and Tristan said, maybe see some F1 and IndyCar guys in the road courses, and especially in like the Xfinity Series at Mid-Ohio, because there seems to be a lot of guys like Nelson Piquet this weekend who are racing there that aren't regulars.
All right. Well, I know you guys were saying that you could see these drivers from the double. With the new charter system in mind, what team do you guys think they could drive for if these drivers did the double? Because I mean, these drivers are full time; they need to get into the chase. What are you guys thinking, Michael? Starting off with you.
What team they would drive for if they do the double?
Yeah, if they do like NASCAR, if they did the double.
Yeah, Go Fast Racing. Put them in the 32 if they're still around.
Okay, Nathan.
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe.
Maybe BK Racing get like the 93 or the 26.
Yeah, no. I can't think of what teams actually run like part-time like drivers right now. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
All right. Finally, Tristan.
I'm thinking of a team which we saw that might have ended up doing with Gutierrez this year. It didn't end up coming to tuition, but the plan was to have, since Haas owns a NASCAR team and since HSCOT is a lower division of Haas, they were planning on putting Gutierrez in the 51. So If it's still a Haas driver trying to race, I see them going to an HGOT car, a lower division of that. So if not, I see, like as Marty said, like a BK car or something, like something not a big team. Maybe if it's a big enough driver like Lewis Hamilton, Stuart Haas will open up another car since Mobile One is there, and since Hamilton does it, but Hamilton and like I think Button did like a seat swap with Gordon, so maybe Hendrick if Button wants to do it. Other than that, I don't have any ideas.
Well, here's the problem if they put Lewis Hamilton in a Stuart Haas race car. Stuart Haas Racing can only field up to four cars. You can't field like a fifth driver development car because of the charter system. You can only have 4 full-time teams. You can't have like 4 full-time and 1 part-time.
You can't have one. They can't do. Hendrick can't do like a Chase Elliott like they did last year.
No, because they were thinking about putting Eric Jones in for Joe Gibbs Racing as like a part-time driver in 2016, but they couldn't do that because of the new charter system.
Okay.
All right. Final thing. This is kind of a new thing I kind of want to do here. NASCAR Race Hub does this, but they do like the Radio Sweetheart. I'm gonna get you guys' take on radios. Who do you guys think the Radio Sweetheart for Watkins Glen is? Now, I'm not gonna show the video because I don't want to get any copyright strikes, but I will play the audio via my headset so you guys can hear. And then once Radio Reactive is complete, I will get you guys' take on who Radio Sweetheart is going to be.
Yes,
So here we go.
I've heard
Radio
of you.
Reactive for
Yeah.
Watkins Glen. Enjoy, everybody.
90 laps will make up the distance here this afternoon around this 2.45 mile, 7-turn road course, packed with action, packed with opportunity. You have to be perfect. You can't make a mistake when you're shifting, when you're braking, when you're accelerating, and you sure can't get off this racetrack.
All right, buddy, have fun out there today. All right, folks, let's get ready to rock and roll. Your guys like to say hello to these great bands here today. Part of the sold-out show once again.
Race the racetrack all day, fight for us. We'll fight for you. Be there, Dan.
Scuff me one more time. Here we go. All right, bud. Have a good day.
Getting ready to go for 90 laps here at Watkins Glen International. American Ethanol green flag is in the air. They are on the way.
3 wide. 3 wide.
Digger split, get 3 mid. Smart here. Smart, clear.
You see everybody hooked up the AT pill today? All right.
Austin Dillon spin off the course here in the interlude.
Get the
Oh, Kyle Busch being like that, being like he's the best, like usual.
Thank you. Some stuff holding us up. Yeah, I need to retire or something.
And Tony Stewart overshoots the interlude. He's got to come to a complete stop in the runoff area.
All right.
All right, you did come to a stop, correct?
Yeah, I come to a complete stop. We got to go to the back, over the wall too soon.
Pull that tape off the grill. Pull that tape off the grill.
An uncontrolled tire for Jimmy Johnson. Plus, he was speeding on pit road.
So we got a pass through, Dave. Outside tire violation. That's what I was supposed to do with that tire hole in there.
We'll get it back. We're fine.
We got a pass through here, too fast.
Sorry, guys.
We're too fast, section 5. Now they say 6, but we got to go to the back. All right. Too bad.
41 is a control car. All right, brother, take on your belt. Have fun, man. Rep on your restart zone. Green flag.
Still there. Still there. Still get it, spin.
Now, that start was terrible. I mean,
Go spin, go hot. Go.
man, there's a lot of breeze. That might need the red flag there.
First half of this race was so clean, and suddenly now, as we go into the second half, it's breaking out.
Can anybody tell me anything about the car?
Right side's tore up.
We're done, Earl.
Who the hit me? Everybody's such a to me, honestly. They just are.
Jack, brother, you're just a little too far away from you. There was a big sugar cube cookie. Halfway think a lot of people are going to come to top off here, but so I think that's our only shot. Basically, I need one more caution to make it to the end, but not a lap or 2 short.
American Ethanol green flag back in the air, and that Miller Lite Ford bolting away from the field.
Reckon like hell to exit a 5. Reckon like hell to exit a 5. Ton of that front damage. Ready, guys. We got a little right side damage. Might as well just put 4 tires on it. It's a pretty good blind spot. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here when we get back going. 42, 47, not maybe speed. 42, 47. It's not, no point to slow down then for the ambulance. Right now they're still saying 42, 47. You're saying he's in front of us? Come back and announced it. You are coming to green. You're also coming to 10 to go. So we're going to get physical over here.
Kyle Busch, he goes way off over the
gas. And they've got cars locked up at the back of the pack. I know Tony's not going to be happy. I'm sorry. I know he should be pissed. Trying to go for a win. He's already trying to do everything I can out here.
I can't turn every time I get down the corner.
You get to this point in the race, blood pressure begins to build, tempers begin to flare.
We're wrecking over here. We're in it. Parker gets around. Now we get nailed. If we keep on somebody. You good, Chris?
No, we're not good. Over now, we're way too far back.
In front of me. I'm going to send it. We're all done. Just get everything loaded up. Get out of here. Display the red. Stop all work in the pit road and the garage. So why is it that a chicken coop has only 2 doors? If it had 4 doors, it'd be just
Boy, you gotta believe everybody's trying to
I was not expecting that.
Let's find out how it goes as the American Ethanol green flag is in the air.
There you go. You got momentum, baby. You got momentum. Use that support. Right with it to your left. On your left. Still out there. Clear. 5, 4, 2 more. Do not look in your mirror. I got you.
It's Edmund, Truex, Keselowski. They'll settle it here this afternoon.
Still clear by 2 over the 2. On your bumper now. You got it. Yeah? No need for that.
Denny Hamlin wins today at Watkins Glen International.
Good job, Denny. Tip of the cycle. I never would have woke up and dreamed this, buddy. Sorry I let you guys down.
Dang it. Come on, I'm sorry.
You need to go talk to him.
I will.
We leave here knowing that we built this race up and it lived up to the expectation.
All right, that is Radioactive for Watkins Glen. So, who is your radio sweetheart for Watkins Glen? Michael, we'll start off with you.
Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was my radio sweetheart. He was cussing about every single thing that he did wrong and then some. I mean, he was just mad at himself. All we heard from him was bleep, 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 bleep. I was about to say that their mouths were pretty clean for this race until Kyle Busch and Danica started in on it, but I thought Kyle was worse. Danica's
All right, Nate. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
You're good.
Nathan?
Probably Tony Stewart. He's always really good on the radio. Even though I was mad at him last week, he was talking bad about McMurray. But yeah, him, Danica, as always.
Finally, Tristen.
Carl Edwards. Just for that.
Thank you.
Just for that joke. Carl Edwards, best one. And to be the one who swears the most, I vote Kyle Larson. I don't think they had enough bleeps in the bag to cover him after he got wrecked in the final turn. Because after going through Danica and Kyle Busch, they didn't have enough bleeps left to do Kyle Larson's final turn wreck.
Nice. Alrighty, so that is it for discussion time right now. If we have time, we will do some fan discussion times. Let's preview the only race we have to preview this weekend, and that is the Xfinity Series, the Mid-Ohio 200 at Mid-Ohio.
Wow, creative name, guys.
Yeah.
Couldn't find a sponsor for the race. Good job, NASCAR.
That is at
since 1959.
That is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the USA Network. I should mention some notable entries because this is a standalone event. We've got Sam Hornish Jr. in the 2 once again. Tim Cohen in the 13. Tommy Drissi in the 14. Tristen, do you want to say who's in the 18?
Kelly. Why is Owen Kelly in the 18?
Yeah, like when he heard about why he saw the Xfinity Series entry list, he was like, "Who the bleep is Owen Kelly? Who the bleep is Owen Kelly?" Stuart Grant would know.
Literally, I was sitting there and I first saw the entry list and I was like, 18's available. It's gonna be William Byron. They're gonna give him a shot to be up there because Eric Jones is gonna be on.
I wish.
No, it's freaking Owen Kelly.
Yes.
Why? Well, you should put this into effect. William Byron does not have any experience on road courses in a truck. So we should go
Don't
there.
do it anyways. Just do this. Like he can have more experience when he gets Canadian Tire.
Anyway, Ryan Blaney, the only not Xfinity Cup regular in this event, in the 22. Who else do we got
Brian
on
Ellis
here?
in the 25.
Yep, Ryan Ellis 25. 74 and 77 are to be announced. Kenny Habul
And
Kenny the Bull
97. 97 's to
in
be
the
announced.
88. 97 is to be announced, and the the 98 Nelson PK Jr. So what do you guys? So anyway, of the entry list, we have here 40 cars, so they'll all make the race. Nathan, what do you predict? What are you expecting on this race Saturday, which is on my birthday, by the way?
Happy birthday, by the way, Marty.
Thanks.
And
Happy birthday, Michael.
Thank you.
I
Go ahead.
expect to see some of the road course guys up front, like Habul, PK, but do watch out for Blaney because I'm not sure how good he's not that good on the road courses. He hasn't really had that many races on the road courses yet, but the Sprint Cup guys will always find a way to win in the Xfinity Series. So, but I do predict that PK is going to win.
Okay. By the way, I like what you said about American Ethanol Green. I wonder if Crayola will make an American Ethanol Green in a pack. Not as good as Carl, though, okay?
Why
Sorry,
wouldn't they?
man.
I think they should. I think that'd be a neat color. Okay, anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, Nathan. Not Nathan, I'm sorry, Tristan.
I think it's going to be an Xfinity Series regular getting a win. Now, whether that will lock said driver into the chase or whether they already have a win, it's probably going to be a driver who already has a win, knowing that 19 and 20. But then, for like a pick to get themselves a win, who's out there, I vote Darrell Wallace Jr.
Okay.
Bubba or Brennan Poole are going to take home the win. And honestly, Brennan Poole already has a win in my book.
Yeah, in my book, too.
Yeah.
I think like 90% of people say Brennan Poole has a win in their book. The other 10% are the people at NASCAR.
NASCAR's inconsistency and bullcrap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who'd you say you would predict to win this? Who say you think would win this race? Because I was talking with my mom.
Oh, I said Bubba Wallace or Brennan Poole.
Oh, nice. So we will have either a first-time winner or a first and a half-time winner.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Finally, Michael.
Owen Kelly.
No. No.
He
doesn't even have a sponsor yet.
He's gonna qualify first and he's gonna finish first. Guarantee it.
No, I swear,
No,
if it's the 18 doing that, no.
I'm just messing with you guys. In all seriousness, I think that Ryan Blaney is gonna win. I think he's gonna get Penske's second win in the Xfinity Series this year.
All right. I'm gonna give you guys my prediction. This should be an interesting race, like we've seen in the past. We've seen fights at Mid-Ohio or arguments. Well, that's classic road course racing in the Xfinity Series. I'm gonna go with Sam Horse Jr. He does pretty good. Because I mean, if I'm correct, he has won at road courses before. I'm just gonna YOLO it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so anyway, go ahead.
I think Sam will have a chance.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And as for a little thing here at the end, Blake Cook's throwback is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blake Cook. Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, Blake Cook, that's got an amazing throwback. You know what? How much time do we have left?
2 minutes.
Oh nope, we got 1 minute and 15 seconds. So
okay, quickly.
I got two quick questions. I got two quick questions. Yes or no?
Go ahead.
Okay, first one. Will Casey Kane say Hendrick Motorsports if he can't win by the end of the year? Marty.
He'll stay.
Okay, Nathan.
Yes, for now.
And Tristan.
For now.
Okay, and the last one, this is, who's going to end their winless streak first? Nathan.
Jamie McMurray. No bias. No bias.
Tristan.
Come back to me.
Okay, Marty.
I am going to go with Kyle Larson. He's got some good talent.
Technically, that's not a winless streak. He hasn't won yet, so.
Okay,
Count it,
fine. Fine, I will say, okay, you know what, that's tough. Okay, I'm gonna say Greg Biffle.
Okay. For me, it's Trevor Bayne. And for an upset, David Reagan.
Yes.
Okay.
David
Racing
Reagan.
in the first win. All right, that's gonna do it for Motorsports 360 on this episode. To all of you who watched, thank you all so much for joining us. We will be back next Tuesday, 8 o'clock
Unless
Eastern
it
Time.
rains.
Same.
Unless it rains.
No. We'll do it on Tuesday unless this race gets moved to Monday.
What
But
if
anyway,
this gets moved to Wednesday?
I don't know. Good question.
Do it on
Because
Friday.
that's
We'll
the
do it
day
on
of the truck
Friday.
race.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, we'll be recapping the Mid-Ohio Xfinity race, and then we'll be previewing Bristol, baby. So thank you all for watching. YOLO's Swag Bye, guys. We're out of here. Say bye, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks
Bye.
to the people watching.
Mm-hmm.